Wow, it's been a long time. Hi, this is Axiom coming at you live, well, recorded. But here I am. I am on the PhantomSMP. This is my glittering cave. And we're going to be working on this. Lots and lots of bamboo. Why? Because it is 1.20 and bamboo is probably one of the most valuable things in the game because we can make wood out of it now. Lots and lots of wood in 1.20. I'm going to show you how to make a very quick and efficient bamboo farm using a flying machine in Bedrock. Just a flying machine. Simple, basic redstone. Let's get to it. All right, we're down in the area where I'm actually going to build out the farm. And I've started to do a little bit of prep. Let's try this again. All right, we're down in the cave where I'm actually going to build my farm out. We're going to make it right down in here, and this is going to kind of be a little simple. Now, wall to wall here, this is pretty much a fair chunk. So anything we put in here is going to be okay. And this whole stretch here is 2.5 chunks, with the middle chunk being here. So as far as any issues with redstone, we won't run into it. I actually have a clock here because I have a pumpkin and melon farm running this way. And so I already have a little clock here, and we're actually going to expand this time because this isn't going to be, this runs too quickly. We're going to let it go a little later. So we're going to grab some stone and expand that out and put in our timer that way. Now for this area, it is, it's pretty long. It's right about 30-ish blocks long. And for our farm, we're going to do about 8 wide. So this is basically 4 stacks of material that it'll go over each time. So whenever it sweeps through, it's going to pull out about half of a bamboo block's worth on just one growth. And bamboo can get super tall. But because it's on a clock, it's never going to have an opportunity to really get max tall. So even if it just grows right into the roof, it's okay. Even the holes from my cave, if the spot that's over here grows all the way up there, that's just more bamboo for us. So I'm not going to worry about digging it out too much taller. This is a good height for me. Now to get bamboo going, we can place it on moss. Now I could dig out all this stone and then go through and put the moss down, but moss grows itself on stone with some bone meal. So we're going to go ahead and bone meal that up. And the easiest way I found to do that is stick some up top there, grab your bone meal, and boom. So the nice thing is we're going to get all these moss carpets and azaleas and other things. We can restock from our supplies that have dwindled a little bit because I have yet to make a moss farm. And we can go from there. So I'm just going to get all this done up, and we'll be right back to you. Beautiful. We have mossed our area. This is where all of our bamboo is going to go, and we need to get this cleaned off, and we're going to have to put some lighting kind of around it because it's just not going to have enough lighting for the bamboo to grow right if we don't. So our flying machine is actually going to be about 8 blocks wide, right? So this is going to be an 8 by almost 32-ish. Need to double check because I think I may have gone a little too far on this side, but that's okay. I'll verify all that, but we need to get rid of all that stuff that's on top of the moss since we've mossed it up, and the best way to do that is just take your water bucket and go. All right. Oh, I didn't know you could waterlog the azalea bush. Look at that. That's interesting. We have all the bamboo laid out, and like I said, I want to make sure that we get a little bit of lighting going on in here. So I'm going to set up a couple of blocks. It's 8 wide, so in theory, 1 light block should be okay to come all the way to the end, but we can stagger them or make them look uniform, kind of whatever it is. This is an aesthetic piece, even though it has function of giving plenty of light for the bamboo. But if we keep it at this level and off to the side, when our flying machine comes by, it's not going to try to pick it up or push it or really interfere with it. So it's a great way of getting lots of light in the space and not having to really worry too much about getting any interference. So I'm going to set up some light all the way down here. to the end, and then I'll show you how we're gonna put the flying machine together right over on this spot. So it'll take off cued from our existing pumpkin melon farm. All right, it's time to put in our flying machine so it can sweep across and let our little Allay collect up all the bamboo to its heart's content. We've been building and doing our own little testing. I have, I don't know, about 10 stacks-ish of bamboo. So we'll see how many we get from this little growth has been going. Now, what I've done is I've set some obsidian on both sides so that as the flying machine goes across, it has a point to stop. And I like to use crying because it looks good and it actually is a little bit of light. So if we were to dim the room or something, it would look nice that way. And then so the way I remember on how I want to build the machine is while I'm looking at the obsidian on my left side, so my totem side, that's the side where I want to put the honey blocks. And that's also the side that I'm going to trigger to make it run. So it's important to remember because when we get to the other end, if we want it to come back, which we'll just wait for the next cycle, we'll need to trigger it from that other side. I'll show you that next, but for now, let's get this built, shall we? We're going to start with the honey block on the crying obsidian, and we're just going to bring that all the way out to the edge of what we're doing. What our area is. Now, since this machine is only 4 wide for each blade, as it were, we're going to put the 4, and then we're going to put our pistons on. So we want our pistons facing away. So we're going to put a sticky piston first, and then a regular piston. And then on that sticky piston, we're going to count 1 on there, and then we're going to fill this out to the edge. Now it's going to end up being 5. And we're going to put a sticky piston here and a honey block on top of that. Another regular piston skipping a block. And then we're going to put some observers. Now the observers, they face away from you. So when you place it down, the face is whichever direction you're looking, and the red dot is where the redstone signal goes. So we want that coming into our piston. So we're going to stand underneath here. I'm going to look at that block ahead and place it, and we'll see that it's coming right up into those pistons. We'll turn around and do the same thing on this side. Gonna grab that on the side, boom, and that's it. Flying machine done. Easy peasy. So remember, look at the obsidian on the left, roll out your honey blocks, sticky piston, observer, regular piston, observer, all in one nice chain. Now to trigger it, I like to do a little test run. So we have quite a bit here. Let's see how Mr. Allay does. These are all about 2 or 3 stalks tall the whole length. I'm just going to drop a torch on this observer and look at him go. Now he's just going to bring it to me because we haven't built a drop-off point for him yet, and I have none in my inventory, so this will be interesting to see. You see the flying machine stopped over there, and the Allays doing up his collection. So yeah, a full run of this 2 or 3 tall. He's going to make maybe 2 passes to pick everything up. He'll pick up a stack at a time. We could put some leaves. Oh no, I broke the honey blocks. Put some leaves going kind of around on this so that as the sweeper comes through, all the bamboo would stay in the middle. Right, let's see. He looks like he's done collecting. We got 1, 2, 3, and some pocket change. So we get about 3 stacks of bamboo when this thing runs on 2 or 3 tall. All right, flying machine is ready to go. We need to trigger it, and I have a clock up here that runs my pumpkin and melon farm, so I'm probably just going to hijack that redstone signal. We could build a second clock, but since this is so close, we could just use that. Now, remember what I was saying, it goes on opposite phases, right? So here is where the trigger needs to be on one side, and here, down there where that torch is where it needs to trigger kind of on the other side. And of course, we want it to trigger on the face. So I'm going to show you how we get these to trigger because we only want something to pop up into it, move away. We're actually going to leverage just a regular piston for that one. So we'll grab 2 pistons because we'll need those. We are going to need a couple of repeaters, probably about 4 or 5. We'll see. And then we're going to need a whole bunch of dust. So I'm just going to make like a stack and some change. Just so I have enough, we could always box it back up. Don't need those right now. And then the other pieces that we're going to need are actually some glass because we're going to bring a redstone signal down. So we'll need just a couple pieces of glass, maybe 5 or 6. Okay, so let's go look at that clock real quick so you can see what I've got going on. It's just an etho hopper clock, and it's just doing a nice, good, steady count. Probably going to keep it a good, steady count. I might extend it out a little bit because it might just be running a little quick anyway for the pumpkins. So I want to evaluate how this grows and maybe let it grow a couple more stalks up. So right now we're doing right about 2 stacks worth. Taking some of this. So we might just throw in like a 3rd stack or so as we move along. But right here, it's going to give me a nice signal, right? So we're going to actually steal the signal, and it's coming into this block. So let's go ahead to the other side. All right, so that's the block that we want to pull from, but it's not going to be a strong signal because it's only going to be basically one redstone length saying, yeah, you got stuff here. So we want to be able to take that, but we want to be able to push and pull our redstone down as we bring it down here to run a redstone signal in 2 different directions, right? So we're going to start by putting a piece of glass right here, and then we're going to look up at the roof and hit our repeater there so that the redstone signal's coming out. Then we're going to grab another block. Ta-da! Glass. Now the reason we made this glass is because on Bedrock, the redstone signal, this is being powered, so it'll power this redstone signal. We can actually take this with the glass and bring it down, right? So as we need to, we can zigzag this all the way to where we're going to run our signals. Just like so. Should be good to go there. All right, now let's make sure that we're going to run signals exactly where we want them to and how we want them to do it. I'm going to grab a couple of iron blocks from here just so that it stands out from the rest of the stone. We're going to put a block here, and we're going to put one of those pistons. So when this piston fires, it's actually going to trip this twice. Once because it goes up, second time because it comes down. So we're going to put the piston there, and yeah, it might tap it twice as it goes. It's really not going to affect anything. It'll work no problem. We just need to run the redstone signal into it so that it basically pulses. It ticks just once. So we're actually going to grab 2 more observers, put it facing away from us again. And so it's going to observe a redstone signal and it'll pulse. It'll just shoot out once to trigger that up. So we got our redstone on this side. Now the signal's going to be getting weak, right? Because it's coming out up top at full strength. It's about 15. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm using iron blocks just because they're basically free for me. But it's so that it stands out from the rest of it. So if I was to come back through here, maybe I'm mining underneath or something, and I see that, I know that is going to be my signal. I wasn't thinking that would actually send it off. Boom, we tested it. Good to go. Roll credits. The next thing we need to do is just bring that redstone signal all the way back down and over there, and we're basically going to recreate this setup. The redstone line running in over to the other station now, and there it goes. The sweeper is moving back along, and this is just one stalk tall for maybe about half of it, and this is probably going to yield me about a stack or so. I've already added more from when it fired on my first go around, but this is pretty much done. I want to clean up some of the torches, and the next part of the project will be getting the Allay collecting the bamboo into a drop-off station. So we're going to figure out where we're going to put the drop-off station. All right, little Allay has been working hard, picking up all the bamboos as it's coming in. And I think I've settled on, I'm just going to go ahead and put the bamboo stuff here. Originally, I was going to pull it back up and around where I had my previous bamboo storage, but I realized I can get rid of this. I don't need it because that system isn't collecting it anymore. 1.20 bamboo block, we can actually use all of the bamboo to make ourselves more chests. First things first, we got to turn them into some blocks. I'm going to grab all of this. Now, Bedrock, we can't do the quick move of everything, but we can quick craft by shift clicking over here. And so that's nice. So we're just going to turn them into the block of bamboo to begin with. And to make my life a little easier, I'm just going to go ahead and break these chests. My Allay is going to freak out and try to bring me all of it, but that's okay. The Allays are so good. I love how helpful they are. I've already got a handful of chests, but we're going to want more. And this is why we're making the bamboo, right? This is the entire purpose of having the bamboo farm. We don't have to go chop down trees every time we need something like chests. Let's see how many chests I can make out of just this bamboo. We'll do 5. We'll do 6 stacks. Right? So each block of bamboo gives us 2 planks. And this is where the magic happens, folks. This is where, because that's 8 chests right there. So already I've got 32, but I need to have the hoppers as well, right? So we're going to want to do at least 50. So if I do like that, it's going to give me 50 chests, but that would be singles. I'm going to do doubles, right? There you go. There is 96 chests, and it cost me 0 logs. This is the strength of bamboo. This is why we love the bamboo, and why it's going to be one of the most beneficial items in Minecraft moving forward. So we just need to create a hopper line that runs right along the top of this. That way, as it goes up, so we'll grab that. Oh, it's bedrock. I can't go on the underneath. Do ba 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 with bamboo. There we go. We'll go put some composters up top. That way it'll just help with some of the leggy bits. All right, now let's talk about the Allay drop-off station, shall we? Whew. We are finished. At least finished for now. I had to rework quite a bit of the farm. I'll show you here in just a minute. Just got done putting the Allay away. He was a good help. I'm glad that we had him. But it's time to go check things out and see how the bamboo farm's doing. It's been running for a little while. Not too crazy, but we did rework some things. So we'll slip over in here and I'll show you. We scrapped the Allay collection because they rely on those note blocks. And it's just thump, 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 thump the whole time. So I went ahead and transitioned to a more traditional Minecart collection system. But let me show you what we have. The reveal. Da-da-da-da! Here it is. So we have our sweepers poised on the edge. We got bamboo growing up. I put some lights in the middle because the middle part of the bamboo wasn't growing, which, I don't know. Maybe they were only getting 2 or 3 from those, but that's okay. This will run here in just a moment. We can poke our head at our clock and see where it's at. Yep, it's just about to run. And you see I have the storage over here, and right up top, I have a minecart. So we'll see that kick off here momentarily. But I've already got these 2 double chests full in the handfuls of minutes that I've not only been working on it, but kind of like stepped away for a minute, take a phone call, things like that. Generally speaking, it's getting maybe about 1 stack every 5-ish minutes. All right, so here comes the next sweep. That minecart is off and about. It's going to start picking it up. You'll see little bits that it drops behind get picked up. Sweeper goes through. Leaves should knock everything off. Minecart. Oh, there it goes. See it pop right up. There it is. And voila. Back up. Let's go see what its take was. Okay, so that was right around 2 stacks worth. And that was just after 2 or 3 minutes of standing here. So we can see that each one grows to be about 2 or 3 stalks tall. All right, so that'll do for our kind of quick-ish bamboo farm. Something that can sweep and run. A stack every 2 or 3 minutes is certainly nothing to laugh at. That's about 768 bamboo every hour. This will be passive. While I'm in the cave, this thing can run. I will collect up all of its goodies. We will make all of the pretty bamboos and bamboo blocks. Primarily, though, I want to use it, like I said earlier, for things like chests, which translate to hoppers and
pistons and all those things that chopping down trees just takes kind of forever to do. This can work passively for me, and then I can use my logs for the real valuable stuff, like hanging signs. And we can make chiseled bookcases out of bamboo. Sorry, Loggers Union. And with that, that's going to do it for me. This is Axie coming live from the PhantomSMP, My Glittering Cave. It's been great. Mr. Enderman's not happy to see me. Let's get away from him. I'm trying to do my outro. You want to say goodbye too? Well, there's that. Bye, everyone.